Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Nicole, and I am here again with another message. In this message, I wanted to come and talk about fear, and I wanted to actually encourage you to challenge fear. And I'm going to tell you why I think that it will be a good idea not only for you to just overcome something that can be so debilitating, but to also challenge fear in order to see your potential manifested. Um, Now, the thing is with fear, fear is actually like a stronghold, a demonic stronghold that many of us have or are victim to. And what we don't realize that when it comes to fear, which is also like rejection, that you know, it keeps us from accomplishing accomplishing certain things in our lives, and it keeps us from elevating and basically growing in our lives. And who wants to be here and not see any growth? Why would you, what is the whole point of being in this life, working hard and working towards things if you never want to see that growth materialize, or see that goal or the accomplishment of that goal materialize in your life? So anyway, I wanted to come and talk about fear. So let's explore fear a little bit. By the world standards, fear is a distressing emotion. It is a feeling, or it can be looked at as a condition of being afraid, typically arising from perceived or real danger. So, perceived meaning something that a way the way that we are looking at something, or it could be a real danger. Evil or pain that can trigger physiology and psychological responses. Okay, so that is the definition of it by the worldly standards. Fear can motivate behaviors like seeking safety or confrontation, like the fight or flight response. And fear is also an unpleasant emotion caused by the expectation or awareness of danger or threat. So these are all the ways that um, fear is defined, or some of the ways that fear is defined by worldly standards. Now, experiencing fear can lead to changes in our body, such as a racing heart, rapid breathing, and sweating, as well as mental changes like heightened anxiety or a sense of panic. So it causes different things to take place in our body. And those are different telltale signs that we are actually dealing with fear. And then there's one where it says heightened anxiety or a sense of panic. So again, this is by worldly standards, which is not something that we should not be allowing to, control our lives. See, the thing is with fear, fear does control a lot in our lives. Like I said, it controls some of our actions. It controls how we respond to certain things. It controls our breathing. It can control the pace of our heartbeats, those sort of things. And again, it heightens anxiety. But remember, in First Peter 5:7, it says, "Cast all your anxiety on Him because He cares for you." Meaning, all your anxieties, all your worries, and all your concerns that we're to cast them on to God. We have to cast it onto God. So that's why I said that that's the way the world defines fear. But we're not to live in fear, because according to the word, it also says, 2 Timothy 7:7, it says that God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and of a sound mind. So fear is like it's sort of like to me, it's an illusion, because when it says the way things are perceived, it makes me feel like it's an illusion. So we look at something because it could seem like a huge thing for us, or something that we feel like we can't come against or overcome, so we immediately jump into or fall into that heightened anxiety thing, or just become afraid. And we're not to do that. We're to, again, cast all of our anxieties on him, because he cares for us. Because fear, when you're dealing with fear and you're dealing with it for so long, it affects the body in other ways as well. Fear causes stress, and the body is not able to deal with or tolerate stress. So it could manifest in different ailments in the body, different diseases, or different infirmities. So fear is one of those things that also invite in the infirmities, or the spirit of infirmity. And fear can also, or not can, but fear is also an open door. And it is something that the enemy likes to incite in us in order for him to have an open door in our lives. And when in the book of Job, if you haven't read the book of Job, I encourage you to take the time out to read the book of Job. But in the book of Job, Job was considered an upright man, and Job did everything like to God's standard as far as he knew. But when another way to look at the way Job handled things in his life before that the enemy was able to come in and do what he did. One might say that Job was operating in the spirit of fear, trying, like, going above, it's almost like it was an obsessing, and it's just me saying this is how I looked at it. It was almost like an obsessing of making sure everything was perfect, like everything was right, in order to, avoid whatever. And that's a way to do things, but it gave me, like, it was an over obsessing. Like I interpreted it as an over obsession of doing everything perfectly. And so that was a way that the enemy was able to come into Job's life. Like, even though God gave the devil, the okay to do it, there's still certain principles that the enemy has to follow, and it was an open door. So the enemy was able to come in through an open door. And to me, I interpret it as that open door was a fear, a spirit of fear. Joshua 1:9 says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." And this is something that God needs us to understand. He needs us to know. We have things here, purpose, callings, whatever. We have things here on earth that we are required to do, that God is expecting us to do. But if we're living in a state of fear, it makes it very hard for us to do those things. And that's why you would notice that even when it comes to like the media, and I'm not going to really get too much to it, but the media and just the different things that take place around us, you would notice that there's a perpetuation of fear into us, and that's to keep us stagnant. That is to keep us from doing the things that we are we are required by God to do in order for us to move forward and to grow. And again, Joshua 1 and 9, he has have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, because God is with us wherever we go. We have absolutely no reason to be afraid. The Romans 8:31 said, if God be for us, who can be against us? So again, my reason for bringing forth this word was to get someone to understand that fear is holding you back. Fear is keeping you from being that person, is keeping you from becoming. There's an acronym for fear, and it is false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. So you are basically allowing something that is not even, that is just an illusion, keep you back, hold you back from becoming who you need to become. And again, I came forth for you to challenge fear, not just because, to just because God said for us not to be fearful, but because I want us in the kingdom to get past this, this thing where people look at Christians as if they don't accomplish much. They don't ever become, or they don't, they're not this, or they're not that, which is the very thing that causes people to not ever want to give God a chance. But if you've decided to give God a chance, and you've decided to pick up your cross and follow him, why not go all in and move past that fear? Another thing I hear people say with Christians, that they don't have any power, and that's why many resort to the kingdom of darkness and dark arts. But we do. Christians do have power. They just don't walk in their authority. Remember the scripture said in 2 Timothy 1 and 7, he's not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. A sound mind, meaning us not taking things that are false and making them real. A sound mind. Power, meaning we shouldn't be walking in fear. We're replacing our power with fear based on the things that is going on around us. And that's why we are to walk by faith and not by sight, because the world, the things that are taking place in the world, is set up to appear real, to keep you from walking in your truth. Isaiah 41 and 10 says, so do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. You have no reason to fear, because God is there. He's with you. He is the Most High. If God be for us, who can be against us? Why are we walking around allowing fear to keep us from being obedient to the will of God, that's keeping us from following our dreams, those very dreams and desires God has placed in our heart? Why are we doing this? Why are we allowing the world to purposely keep us back by making us feel like we're in some type of danger, or if we do something, especially something, an instruction that God has given us, that it's not going to work out the way us being fearful of it not working out. If God has already told us to do it, if God has told you to do it, that means he's cleared a path for you to do it. And even though you may not see that clear path, if he's told you to do it, trust me, it is going to work out. So he wants us to understand that we don't have to fear, because he is always with us and he is always willing to help us. We just have to call on him. We just have to continue to move forward and to call on him. Remember, God is not stagnant. God is all about us growing. He's all about growth. He's always all about us growing in wisdom. He's all about us growing in him. He's all about his glory. And when we begin to understand this, we begin to meditate on these words, renewal, renewing our minds, we will begin to see ourselves accomplishing more. But I'm telling you right now, I feel like, and again, this is why I came forth with this word, that we should make a pact with ourselves to challenge fear today. If God has told us to do something, let's challenge fear and do it, no matter how scary it appears, no matter how, how anxious it makes us look. If we begin to feel anxiety build up, then we cast our cares upon him. We read that scripture and we cast our cares upon him. But it is time for us to stand boldly in our authority and become those individuals that God is calling us to become, and stop allowing the kingdom of darkness and their minions to control so much of what we do, to keep us small. The word even says that every person that was born of a woman, that came from a woman, has dominion over everything over the earth. Remember, Satan wasn't born of a woman. So how are we allowing Satan to control us when he's the lesser of us? He's the lesser of us. He doesn't even have the power he he pretends to have. Remember, fear of false evidence appearing real, and that's why he instills fear in us. That's why he perpetuates fear in us, because that is what keeps him looking big. That's what keeps him looking powerful. But in reality, you're more powerful than even Satan. 1 John 4:16-18 says, it says, and so we know and rely on the love God has for us. God is love. Whoever lives in love lives in God and God in them. This is how love is made complete among us, so that we will have confidence on the day of judgment. In this world, we are like Jesus. There is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect in love. So God's love will help us let go of self-protective concerns and fears. His love and his presence is what's there to help us take steps of faith. Matthew 10 and 26, Matthew 10:26-31 says, so do not be afraid of them, for there is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known. What I tell you in the dark, speak in the daylight. What is whispered in your ear, proclaim from the roofs. Do not be afraid of those who kill the body but cannot kill the soul. Rather, be afraid of the one who can destroy both soul and body in hell. Are not two sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground outside of your Father's care. And even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. So don't be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows. So there. And then Psalm 46:1-3 also says, God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam and the mountains quake with their surging. So God is there. He's right there. We don't have to allow, or we shouldn't be allowing fear to control so much of our lives. Psalm 56:3 is a great prayer point when it comes to fear. Whenever you're, you decide to challenge fear, take this challenge, take me up on this challenge and challenge fear. And and you're going about doing those things that, maybe in the past you were afraid to do, but now you've decided to challenge fear and take on everything that God has told you to take on. Take back everything the enemy has taken from you, that he stole from you when he was perpetuating fear in your life, or for whatever reason. Use Psalm 56:3 as a prayer point. When I am afraid, I put my trust in you. So you put your trust in God and you continue to challenge fear and be that unstoppable person that God sees you as. You are his son, you are his daughter, and he's the most high. So he expects us to understand that and realize that we these are things that we have to do. We have to continue to push forward despite whatever. I'm not going to say despite the fear, because these fears should be overcome with these things in scripture. But the thing is, we have to continue to push forward if we want everything that God has in store for us. If we want to retrieve everything that the enemy has stolen from us, because as long as we continue to sit back and allow fear to dictate us, the enemy will continue to take things from us. So I pray that this message came across the way it was intended. And until next time, you have a good one. Bye.